Now, we've long been told that white meat is far healthier than red meat, but a new scientific study may have just turned all that on its head.
That's because the latest research has discovered that both types of meat can be equally harmful to your cholesterol levels. Joining us now is nutritionist Sarah Di Lorenzo. Morning, Sarah.
Good morning, good morning.
This is a vexing question. You know, has red meat been given a bad rap all of this time, or have we oversold the merit of chicken?
So what it is we've always had the assumption that red meat has more of a negative impact on our health. But, and we've always been encouraged to go for the white meat options. But this study clearly demonstrated that it's not about the colour of the meat, it's about the saturated fat content. We know that saturated fat leads to a raised LDL. Raised LDL, of course, leads us on to heart disease. So when they did the study over here, if you have a look here, they had, when they demonstrated it, they picked these two different types of cuts of meat. The participants
This is on podium one, so we've got barbecue chicken and a steak.
Yeah, so what they did with the participants was for 1 month they gave them the beef and they took their bloods before and after, and for 1 month they gave them the chicken, took their bloods before and after. The meat content had the same saturated fat. So at the end of the test, they discovered that it wasn't the colour of the meat, it was purely the saturated fat that led on to the raised LDLs, which is the cholesterol levels.
OK, so the cuts of the meat or the types of meat that we should be having are on this podium.
So what we're looking at here, so what we're encouraging people to do is look for cuts of meat that are really low in saturated fat. So here I've got some chicken without the skin, of course, a nice piece of lamb backstrap that clearly has got no marbling through it, and of course some eye fillet and definitely fish. So it's just really encouraging people to avoid the saturated fat content in meat. So yeah, then again, not about the colour.
OK, and plant proteins, better still?
So when they did the study, on the third part, the participants had no meat. And what they've worked out is that when you have a diet that's high in plant-based proteins, it's not going to affect your cholesterol levels. Plant-based proteins, of course, are all of our nuts and our seeds, beans, legumes. You can go a little bit further on and have things like tofu and tempeh. And, of course, we have vegetables here as well that contain protein as well.
Oh, so
yeah, there is a little
Brussels
bit of protein.
sprouts.
Brussels sprouts, asparagus and broccoli are all high in protein.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's interesting.
Oh.
And Sarah, you have a recommended recipe for reducing cholesterol up the end. That looks delicious. What do we got here?
So what I'm encouraging here and demonstrating here, so this is also high in protein. It's got plant-based proteins. Plant-based proteins are also full of fibre as opposed to an animal protein. That's a little bit of the difference. But here I've done a lentil and white bean soup. It's got 75 grams of protein in it. It's something that we can have as an entree to something delicious with a nice piece of lean fish. But it's basically the protein component and is with the white beans, the lentils and the chicken stock. It takes 50 minutes to prepare. Simple, quick, easy and delicious.
That looks delicious. We're going to put the recipe on our website, Sarah Di Lorenzo. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sarah.